Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back guys for actually a double upload today. That's what we have in store for all of you. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. It's going to be an upload tonight talking about a promo potentially that is coming soon. I don't know if it's 100% going to be this week, but should be within the next month. But I think there's a really good chance that it's going to come on Friday and a few other things. Enjoy the video today guys. Thumbs up is super appreciated. Now, first thing I want to talk about is the season, right? This season ends on Friday. So I do think that this Friday is going to have something. I think we will have a promo. I'd be surprised if we don't have a promo this Friday. I'm thinking that we're going to get one. Just a piece of information for you guys. Black Friday is now, and I believe 2 to 3 weeks from now. I think it's in 3 weeks from now. So they need to come up with some things in between, obviously, to run promos. There's no way that EA is going to let us just sit here and don't do anything. So I think it's a really good opportunity for them to do so. This season ends in 2 days, in 19 hours. So we'll get a new season on Friday. So the chance that on Friday we just get a new season, which would mean that we're going to get a new set of objectives, new players, all that kind of stuff. That could happen on Friday just alone. It could also happen with a promo, but I think it is enough to just happen on its own. So we may get the promo next Friday. Again, guys, everything I talked to you guys about in this video is not 100% certain. And I'm also not trying to get you guys to panic about anything, but I'm trying to get you guys in the process of understanding what could come soon. And obviously, now that the Champions League is here, it's very likely that we could get road to the finals. So that's what I'm talking about tonight. UCL live cards. There's no way that EA doesn't do it again this year. And it was one of the probably, like, in terms of promos and in terms of cards that last the whole year, it was probably one of the most, I guess, long-term promos, right? Because people were trading with these road to the final cards all the way till the end. So they're a very popular set of cards. What they are, guys, and like what road to the final is. And look, we could sit here and do a prediction. We could do all that good stuff. But what road to the final is, guys, it is a foot campaign featuring the UEFA Champions League and Europa League cards. So basically what EA does is they do like a mix of these cards. So last year we had Aguero, we had Griezmann, we had PK, and all these kinds of cards. And basically what it is once you get to the knockout stages, basically you're betting on the team to advance. So the way it worked was that if the cards advanced, so say City made it to the knockout stage, right, from their group. Aguero would get a +1 overall, and he would get inform upgrade stats. And so basically, the cool part about this promo is, in a way, it's like gambling. You're basically betting on the team, but you're not betting on the player. You're betting on the team. So, for example, Perisic, you could be last year like betting on, let's say, Inter, for example. And if you bought into Perisic and, they came up with an upset in the last game or two and they advanced, you usually double or triple your money. So these were the cards that we started off with last year. Fabinho, Sterling, Fekir, Alex Telles. Some of these are already upgraded from, I think a few of the upgrades that they had. Davinson Sanchez, Benzema, Jesse Lingard, Kimpembe, Farman, Nacho Fernandez, Florenzi, Renato Sanchez. You guys remember some of these cards got really good. So in terms of FAQ, when does a player get upgraded? All road to the final live items start with an inform upgrade at the launch of the event. From there, the player's road to the final item receives an inform upgrade each time their team succeeds. So the cool part about it is that you do get actually like upgraded cards. So whenever this promo is going to be released, EA is going to come out and already pre-upgrade the cards, which I think is a really good thing about this, because that means that like you're not going to just have to bet on the card or invest in the card to do well. He's already going to have an upgrade. So if a card already has an upgrade, as you guys know, there is already a little bit of value to the card. If a card's already upgraded, that's a good thing, right? Because, well, it's got better stats than its normal card. It's not like the UCL blues that we have that are like the same card, so that's a good thing. And then a player could receive a maximum of 7 upgrades throughout the season. So here's the upgrades, how they work. Advancing to the knockout stage. So if the team makes it out of the group, then they get the upgrade. I think the first upgrade last year was, I think, in January, December, or February, something like that. So it's November 5th, and I want to make this video because I do think that EA may roll this out a little bit earlier this year, just because last year was a newer promo, and they brought it a little bit later. And then you get one for winning the first. This is the cool part. In the first leg of the round of 16. So the round of 16 is a big deal because if they win the first leg and they advance, player gets the +2. Whereas if they just, say, tie or lose the first leg and then they go in advance, they only get the +1. So that's a really cool part about this, because you have these fine texts here, and EA will come out and redo all this. But again, this is kind of how it works. Event launch starts as an 89. Qualify for the knockout stage, makes that stage, win the first knockout game, qualify for quarterfinals, right? So that's really a cool concept. So we had cards last year that got like literally full-on +5, +6s last year, and they are inform upgrades. It's not just +1 all around. So if you guys go and look on Flippin, and we go look at like when these came out last year. Last year, guys, these came out before the headliners, before all this stuff, before Team of the Year. Last year, EA dropped these on the 11th, on the 9th of November. And that's kind of, I guess, why I wanted to make this video. Because the first set of cards last year were dropped on November 9th. Now, today is November 5th, and these were dropped on a Friday after Team of the Week 8. And, well, you may ask, Nick, what's coming up? Team of the Week 8, guys. Right now we have Team of the Week 7 on FIFA 20. And so Team of the Week 8 is obviously this Wednesday, which means that I do feel like this is a really good time for EA to maybe bring this out. I think that this is kind of like this is kind of what they discovered last year, where Scream was a lot earlier last year, to be fair. So that's why I'm also saying that it could be in a week from now. But I think EA knows that these promos keep the community really engaged. And keep a lot of things going. So as you guys can see, I mean, these were all the cards we had last year, and these are them in their upgraded formats at the end of the year. So some of these cards got crazy upgrades. For example, Davinson Sanchez for Spurs. I mean, this dude literally went from, I think his gold card last year was an 84. Yeah, I mean, 84 after all his upgrades, he got a 91. And yeah, he did get a footies card at the end of the year, or I think, yeah, it was a footies, I think it was. But overall, I mean, like, you guys can see that a lot of these cards get these massive upgrades, like, throughout the year. And obviously, the year progresses, so obviously, like, as the year is going on, there are some cards that I guess like overshine or I guess maybe overtake these cards as the year goes on, but it's still, again, a really cool concept, and it also applies to the Europa League. You guys can see the bench, so it's a cool promo, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because at the same time, you guys do need to understand that when these cards come into FIFA, so when EA actually does decide to release this promo, when they do bring it out, whenever that is, there's usually some lightning rounds going on. And then I believe this year, what will be really unique about this promo is that EA will actually give us objectives, right? We'll get some objectives with a UCL Live player that we can go ahead and get. We'll get a lot more SBC. So I'm thinking this year that we're going to get this promo team of 23 team. I think this is 23 players. We count them up, 4, 7, 10, starting 11. So I think this is 21. So we'll get that plus probably like 2 or 3 SBC players that week, and then probably like a weekly objective or 2. So we could be looking at like 25 to 26 total live cards, and that's a really cool concept. And I think the best concept about the way that EA is doing a lot of the objectives this year is that we could get a lot of these cards. Obviously, we get 1 or 2 in the objectives. That's pretty cool. If you really feel like a team is going to do well in the Champions League this year, you can go ahead and get that. So I think this is like a big deal, guys, because 2 reasons why this is a big deal. First, I want you guys to understand that this upcoming week, I believe it would be a decent time maybe to sell your investments and your things like that. Thursday after rewards, cash out on these cards. Anything you guys have, man, you looking at the market Thursday and it's really high, maybe you take the money. Now, guys, again, this could not be this upcoming Friday, but I worry if EA kind of wait a little bit too late with this, that maybe we get dragged a little bit too close to Black Friday. And I know that when Black Friday is out, like EA really, it's always Team League 10. Team League 10 is always usually Black Friday. I don't know the official date this year because I'm not doing a video on it yet because I don't want to start panic. But Team League 10 is usually always like the Black Friday week. Last year, what EA did for Black Friday was they did like a last year they did a whole like best of Team of the Week thing where they had kind of brought out like the best of Team of the Weeks and put them in packs and lightning rounds and all that kind of stuff. So usually, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, usually November, just in FIFA Ultimate Team in general, and I want you guys to kind of get this, usually November is a tough month for the market. Whatever you guys do in foot, I just know that in my history that November is not always the best time to really kind of, have investments / be doing stuff. I mean, I'm not saying right now it's not a bad time. It's not a terrible time at the moment to have cards and be investing and things like that. It's just normally not the best time, to overall kind of roll in with a ton of investments just because Black Friday throws a lot of panic. And you guys got to understand about Black Friday is that Black Friday, when Black Friday is over, the market goes a lot higher, right? Because what happens is that with Black Friday, you have all these like packs being open, you have all these things going on, all this panic. And once that is all over, people at the end of the day are usually richer, whether they've been spending money on packs, things like that. It really does make the market, it injects the market with a ton of coins. So this is also this promo, and this is another, I guess, reason why I guess this is another reason why I'm making this video is that this promo is a lot like gambling. And the problem with this is like when certain players, I guess when certain players are getting, when certain players are getting road to the final cards, like it is naturally going to make the market shaky, especially on Champions League weeks, because instead of Champions League now, where we log on right now, guys, and we have let's say today is a Champions League day, right? So if you go into the SBCs today, you have UEFA marquee matchups heading to the top. You have these like SBCs coming out. All right, instead of these coming out, we literally have game days where cards will be going up and down so much because we're heading into the last few weeks of like the group, not the last few weeks, but we're getting further into the group stage. And as you guys know, with the upgrades, the way it works is that obviously if you advance to the knockout stage, the card is going to get an upgrade, so the card is going to grow in value. So you guys are going to start to see that I feel like once these cards are always introduced, it does make for like a lot of error within the market because people are constantly losing coins because people are addicted to gambling. Whether you guys like to hear that or not, people are just very, very, in my opinion, addicted to gambling. So you usually see this in full effect with this promo, and it's a reason why I want to make this video. I also think that if you guys come with me over to Footbin again, we had a second UCL live team last year, and then this was dropped. Oh God, I don't know when this was dropped, but I think this one was dropped. I can double check for you guys right now because I should scroll up a little bit. UCL Live 2. I don't know if it's on here. UCL Live 2. No, so it doesn't show you when it was dropped, but I think this one was dropped in January. I think it was January or March. February, March, January. The second one, you just have to go and flip it and have to go to the drop down and put UCL Live 2. But again, look, Suarez, Ben Yedder, Cavani, Pulisic, Rodriguez, Aurier. Nah, this was dropped in January, I think. So they dropped another one of these in January, which was smart. And I think they'll do the same this year. I think EA will probably do a similar thing this year where they'll start off with a ton of them. And then they'll drop a few more based on, maybe how some teams are doing or some more desirable players. But again, Virgil van Dijk is like a perfect example. Or, even Serge Aurier. You guys can look at these cards. And if I show you guys these graphs of how these cards work, look at what happens, man. When like Spurs are like not so sure that they're going to make it, he goes flying. It's just, it's crazy. Like at some point you had people paying $300K for Aurier. And that's just mental. You guys can see how this goes. He starts off really expensive, drops down to 96. These cards will fluctuate all year. There was a point where they thought Liverpool wasn't going to go through. Virgil van Dijk went down to 500K. Then he goes up to 1 million coins, right? Because they pull off the win and they go through. This guy literally doubles in coins. And through a lot of these graphs, you guys can just see the blatant gambling with these cards. It is literally crazy. People will sell their whole clubs to play with these cards because they always will hold some sort of value based off of how the team is playing. So you guys can see here, Douglas Costa. I think this is when Juve made the crazy comeback against Atletico Madrid. And he went from 266 to like 350, which is just absolutely mental. The guy climbs to 400K at a point. So I guess the important thing about these cards as well, and what I remember is that these cards were always upgraded on late Friday nights. Just to any of you guys that are maybe, like wondering how they did the upgrades or when they did them. It was always on Friday nights and it was pretty late. So they would always do it when like Europe was asleep, so there was no crazy market movement. I would love to see like some new cards this year. Obviously, like Bale would be really sick. If we could grab a Gareth Bale this year, that would be unbelievable. Like this kind of card would just be, oh my God, like dumb lit. Just to have a Bale to potentially bet on. Not that Madrid's like playing well, but just to have like some newer cards this year. I think maybe in terms of like Man City, like getting like a De Bruyne, or like you would want to get players basically that maybe wouldn't get the most informs, but would fly in value with any upgrade. So like maybe they would do, maybe because Cancelo doesn't play too much, they could drop like a Man City Cancelo road to the final, and that would be one that a ton of people would bet on because obviously Cancelo is one of the best right backs in the game. So this is kind of the content that I hope that EA like potentially like looks into bringing out, because some of these cards, like if you guys go through and you look at some of the top teams, some of these would be unbelievable. I think for like Spurs, like if they drop the Sun, road to the final Sun, like they just need to take advantage of the licensing that they have for these top clubs and bring us some of these crazy cards, because at the end of the day, these cards are traders' dreams, right? The way you can go about these cards, guys, is you can actually it's very similar to ones to watch, but they have a lot more hype. Whereas like you guys will see closer to the game days as we get towards the knockout stages or things like that, like the hype for these cards is off the chain. Like you will start to see that a few days before the game, these cards will start climbing in value and value and value. I think one thing that I learned about these road to the final cards last year was like never really invest in them when they're going out of packs. Always just kind of ride the train of always being ahead of the curve in terms of buying before the game, buying like 7 days before the game instead of 3 days, and then selling 3 days before the game to the people that are buying it all up. But I wanted to make this video because I wanted to get you guys in the loop that this could be coming out on Friday. It could also come out next Friday, but last year came out on the 9th of November. So we're sitting here, it's November 5th. There's a very big chance that we could get this soon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the upload. I guess in the comments, Let me know in the comments what card that you guys would like to get the most out of this Road to the Final. Like, what's a card that you guys would really want to see? That would be cool if you guys could put that down in the comments. So thank you guys for watching the video. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in a video soon. Peace out.